Hello movie lovers. Today I'm going to explain a 2004 romantic drama film called Citizen Dog. So friends, get ready for spoiler ahead. Jump to the explanation. Pod decides to change jobs after losing his finger at a sardine packing plant. His new job as a security guard comes with an unexpected perk in the form of a lanky maid who carries a mysterious white book. At the beginning of the story, we see the main character of the movie Pod wants to leave his village and go to the banks and work as soon as he is introduced. So, the next day Pod will go to the mound. Or not to ask. Do it. If we remove the mini, then people will change by going to the city. So, it will be of Road City. This seemed to be the non-mother. He went to the city and said that he had not yet received the tail. He finds a little house to live in and gets a job in a sardine cannery, riding on the back of a motorbike, the rider of which has been turned into a zombie when it rained motorcycle helmets one day and he wasn't wearing one. On a sweltering day, the cannery's production line breaks down. In the pandemonium, Pod slices off his index finger, which ends up in a can and is tucked away to a nearby grocery shop. Every day, he seeks, buying can after can of sardines. He notices a container bouncing about and opens it to discover a finger inside. He merely presses it into place to secure it. But something isn't quite right. He must be holding someone else's finger. During a lunch break, he notices his own finger on a coworker about to pick his nose. He wrests the finger from the guy and returns the other finger. Joe, the nose picker, and the two become friends. Pod quits the factory and becomes a security guard because he doesn't want to lose any more fingers. Jin is R's main character. She works in the environment. Whatever time Pod spends with Jin, it is very good. She always cleaned the office, and she also was always doing things right for everyone. Jin always clean boss picture. Seeing all this, she was very different. Looks strange. She is always reading book. Her dream is that the body has been messed up for days. He also used to live in the village. One day the book down, and Jin thought about which book had chosen it. They can never study in this village. That's why she is in Bangkok. Jin ahead is one such character, for which the dream is very important. Jin had a dream. Like walking through the forest. They lived. He also loved reading a Roman magazine. She talks to her character. That why she is the most beautiful girl. Every time she reads this magazine. It is. So, bring a spark to his eyes. When she is happy, she moved her leg. Jin was start talking when Pod making short coffee. Give him lots of coffee. Then Jin ask if you drink so much coffee, you will not sleep. He tried to eat the food. It was blown away. But he did not even eat food. When he was going to the office from sleep, he took a lift, and the man he always goes a dead man. The ghost was taking him to the office. Someone like to said that when a man is in love, he feels that he is alive for the first time today. Others who haven't expressed love yet. I did. Keep him alive like a corpse. Today, when Pod met Jin, he tells the story, which he later hears. Jin Pod is saying that these people who fell from the celebrity would have had a tail. Who says there was a gap in my path? One day he says he has two dreams. What is Pod's dream? I didn't know about it. Jin tells him about her dream. She had booked have to read. This book will be special. Maybe like celebrities, she will also get a tail. He went and asked everyone in his office if he read this language. Can be. But no one comes. Discover an English class in the city. Jin also works there. The heroine of the hero was attracted in his magazine. Many cities like the 30th loved those characters very much. The hero will bring back the heroine considering it bigger than the Pods. One day Jin looked very beautiful in a body blue dress outside the office. She was in her uniform. She never wore him in another dress. Then Jin they walked away. Then he met all the people. They were same uniform. Then he entire bus. Pod had no idea how to space the face. Then Pod's friend Joe tells him his story. There is a Chinese girl there. He thought that his girlfriend father's name Kim. She was very beautiful in these entire areas. Joe and his girlfriend met one day on a bus stand. From here it started fall in love. After meeting these two, they have given each and every settlement at this time. Dude, if you have a mountain, did you eat with him on the bus or will you be able to spend more time with him? This will come, the board tried and saw. Pod is enamored and longs to be near Jin. Pod invites Jin to take the bus after being inspired by Joe and his Chinese empress girlfriend, who consummated their romance on a packed bus. But Jin refuses, claiming that crowded public transportation causes her to break out in a rash. Pod quits his job as a security guard. He start driving taxi. He always used to pick up from home and leave the job. They spend this time with each other. Then he drive taxi. He met with a little girl. She go to the mall alone with her teddy bear. Or that the girl left her teddy bear in the car and went to the mall or started talking to Pod before leaving. He told him the bar, will you wait for him all day, he will keep playing the game all day. At this little girl's house, her father and mother would give her so much attention. No, because of this, he has come out and started playing games. After that, and mother is even more angry at him. If you get it, it will become a Highland. Bisexual hers. It is. But if he really saw the blood, he would go and fall down. That Teddy and this little girl always very much, they quarreled. I used to throw the girl Teddy out, but every time they came to take him back. When these two met each other, both used to cry. In this ward, these two have no one other than each other. One day when Pod was with Jin, he came from 1.5 of his fans. If you tell your heart to whom you speak, then what is why you live today? Maybe your death tomorrow. Be done. And someone else should take it from the boss. 4. She called Jin a uniform. She goes to the gym. We are poor. You don't have any cream. We cannot raise. Dream weaver without the children we have. She also wants a good life for her children. But these two can't give together. That's why she refused him. Pod felt very bad. He was going home and committing suicide. Then he saw his grandmother in the lizard above the line. She says it's my death. He eventually confesses his genuine love for Jin, but she's gotten enamored with a hippie Farang who's been observed reading the same white book she is. She imagines the man to be called Peter, and she believes he was murdered at a rally in Washington, D.C. Inspiringly, she begins collecting plastic bottles, eventually amassing enough to form a mountain that towering above the city, and joins an environmental protest movement pushing for a plastic ban. Meanwhile, Pod has adventures in his taxis, transporting a small girl with a bad mouth who smokes cigarettes and plays video games. She has a teddy bear who also curses, smokes, and drinks whiskey, which she finally discards. Another passenger is a man who constantly licks objects, and Pod must find a way to stop him. He also encounters his grandmother, reborn as a gecko, who repeats her prophecy that if he continues in the city, he will sprout a tail. Jin meets Peter at a demonstration, who reveals his real name is Andre and the White Book is an Italian homosexual romance novel. Jin abandons the book and her activist lifestyle and flees Bangkok, telling Pod she must be away from him. Pod quits his job as a cab driver and goes to the country, only to get bored because rural life has slowed down in comparison to his life in Bangkok. When he returns to the city, he discovers that everyone else can and has grown a tail except him. He becomes famous, yet he continues to look for Jin. Pod climbs the plastic mountain to locate her, proclaims his love once more, and kisses her, erasing her concerns about their future. 6 months later, the mountain is a picnic for lovebirds. The girl and her teddy bear marry, and Jin, now a great businessperson who has led a plastic firm into the ground, is married to Pod and expecting a kid. By the way, it is also that if they both get married, you will also be taken for a walk. You will become it because of you and me. Pod was ready to say everything to them. Both again. The little girl and her fathers are together, whose plastic mountain pub in front of their house has become a lover's point. After this, he spent 6 months. Pod friend and his girlfriend are called and give face live a bigger one. He had a car and was traveling by premium bus. The little girl and her fathers are together, whose plastic mountain pub in front of their house has become a lover's point. He worked in a plastic company. He did a lot. Without hard work. And really manager. He closed this company with shadow. Both Jane and the body are incredibly happy. Jean is also pregnant. In Pod dream, the Fest Sea grandmother comes. She calls him your child. Let's do it. Such a member is a newborn of this movie. Pod believes that his child will be his grandma due to a huge list of reincarnated animals. This movie love captures all these beautiful moments very well. This beautiful movie ends here. So, how do you like the movie? Tell me in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you next time.